Hope you're all doing well. I thought I'd just get on and do a little bit of a live session here talking about astrology, large, small transits. We'll hit them all here tonight. Hopefully, we'll talk about a few. I am pretty tired, still feeling that pretty intense transit of the new moon in Scorpio. That energy might really still be feeling. Just a heads up. And let's make sure that we are indeed live and you guys can see me, hear me, and all that good stuff. Are we good? It's not buffering, right? 33 seconds on the clock there. So let's jump into it yet again. Yeah, that new moon in Scorpio, and let's just like kind of talk about it a little bit possibly as well, and kind of get a feel for it. We're not buffering, right? Can you guys type 777 if we're like zero buffering and it's like perfect? Because it's been weird. It's been really weird. Yeah. Her Majesty, yeah, say hi to Nat. Hey. We'll pretend it's not awkward. Okay. So, yeah, 111 right there. Okay, cool. We have so many sevens. Yay. So, I hope you're all doing well. And, yeah, that new moon in Scorpio, well, we're saying that. It's not over yet, right? Okay. And technically, when does energy sort of end? Get off its shift like, okay, I'm done here. Yeah, no, we're good. We're done. Just sign right here on the dotted line. Like, it's an eternal process as well. We will revisit that Scorpio sort of vibration, even 6 months down the line when we hit that next peak of it, but at the full moon angle, right, the full moon peak, and side of the spectrum. So, it will just be kind of like a sense of culmination, but just in a different way potentially, and really, really a sense of a possible even clarity. So that is, just like, maybe, etch it into your calendar a little bit and, kind of, you can also mark down a year down the line, right? And that's why when we look back, let's say at year-long readings, even 6-month readings, 8, 9, 10, 11, you'll usually feel the energies of a reading at least like between the 6th month and the 12th month. But really, I feel like the sweet spot, the hot point is really that 6 to 8 months. Like if you by that time, yeah, there is definitely usually some sort of tremendous clarity when it comes to that period of culmination. So in other words, also when you're watching a reading, if you're like, I don't really super duper like completely understand what this is referring to, well, first of all, obviously wait. If we're doing, let's say, a December reading, which we'll hopefully be jumping into soon, if we do a December reading, for example, right, December, we say 2020, first of all, if we're doing that on the 1st of December, you might want to come back to that reading throughout periodically the month of December, even January, because, and it depends on also the energy in your birth chart. It depends as well on certain transits, and your will, your sort of I'm hearing your vacation time as well. I don't know what that's linked to. Okay, your life path, I'm hearing that as well. Like ultimately we can have a door in a room, right? But who moves in and out of that room is who decides to move in and out through the door. So it'll always be a matter of also how you're, and I'm seeing that on like a higher plane, how you consciously or subconsciously are interacting with certain energies. I don't know what that's linked to, but anyways, now let's get back. Oh, Martika, literally I just had this like organic Nutella thing. Martika said, my sweet tooth is out of control. You should go back, watch that Capricorn reading. I think it was a Cap reading. It was a few months back. I think it was actually October, November. Yes. Of last year. And so, okay, but anyways, we're saying, so yeah, periodically feel free to come back to certain readings, and even, months down the line, you hit a reading 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, you'll be like, whoa. And it's always interesting to come back to those. Yeah, okay, so now let's jump into it. Let's clear it and ground and just, channeling here. But I want to actually talk about the astrology transits because first of all, there is just so much going on, and we have to remain aware of that. Even if, let's say, there's like, it's sometimes difficult because, let's say you have one really big transit, you have one thing you experience, and then it's like, okay, you get so wrapped up in that, and then it's like, we can forget, like, there are other things as well going on. So in other words, if there is a new moon in Scorpio, okay, the intensity of that, the enrapture of that, we will feel it. But, simultaneously to that, there are other life cycles. I'm hearing that as well. Okay. So yeah, and then we're definitely, in a very thick, heavy, we are direct with most planets at this point, but they're still in the post-shadow retrograde period. So I still consider it a retrograde period. It's like you got through the first semester of that class, but you still got the second semester. You got through the bulk of it, but there is, still that closing out of the classroom itself. Wow. So it's like, yeah, when we're talking about clearing, and it would not be surprising to know that there's a lot coming up for review from past lives. And if it feels foreign to you, you're like, okay, I've lived on Earth. I'm here for this number review for I'm here for number 45 years, 75. I'm here for number review 24, 25, 23. 22, 21, whatever it is, right, for you, and you're like, I've never felt this way. What is that? I don't know what that energy is. I don't know who that is even. I'm hearing that as well. So, and that might be as well the energy spaces that you encounter, and these sort of aspects of your consciousness or your subconsciousness that you are visiting. So we'll say it in that way potentially here, or we may not. I'm hearing it in that way as well. So, I'm hearing that spirit really kind of wants to, or your spirit guys want to emphasize that it is kind of what you make it as well. At the end of the day, we can say, well, there's this transit, but everyone will interpret it differently. Some may go through certain cycles and be like, oh, I love that energy. I loved that. That was like, so I felt like I was riding at the height of the wave. Someone will be like, are you kidding? I was definitely like, making eye contact with remnants of the Titanic at the bottom of the freaking ocean. That was like not good. It was not easy. It was not fun. I don't want to do that again. So, it will always be different for everyone. And let's clear in the heart chakra. Yeah, and different things will come up for review for everyone. And it's important to remain grounded during these periods when we have so many cycles, we have so many retrogrades, and we have so much just kind of coming up. The ability to process it in a grounded manner is really important. So now I also want to mention this. I wanted to actually jump on primarily to focus on the transit that we're moving through actually as we speak, so-called, and I'm feeling some pressure in the heart chakra, Venus at the end of Libra. This is pretty intense. Why? Because Venus is the natural ruler of Libra and Taurus, but naturally the ruler of the 7th house. In its ruling sign, it's pretty strong. It's very comfortable there, right? And when it's at the 29th degree, it's like, yeah, I'm graduating. Hi, everyone. Time to really take a look at all of everything that's, and so I'm hearing everything that's grown in the garden. Interesting. All my potted plants. So it's like, we're really going to be feeling in whatever way, whenever we have a planet, any planet 29 degrees, it's going to be really accented. So you might just in some way feel that pressure point building in the part of your chart that is sitting at 29 degrees of Libra. So take it as you will. What house is it in for you? Let's say you are a Scorpio rising, then that might be, depending on the actual degree that you hit at your ascendant in Scorpio, that will most likely be in your 12th house, okay? And so, we'll always be bringing different things up for review. So how is it going for you guys in terms of that particular transit? Venus at 29 degrees in Libra. It's always interesting to sort of get into the feedback loop with you guys because, it's interesting. It's like they'll say, wow, it's like really fun. I love this energy. And no comment, must have faith. Okay. Okay, let's get cards out just for must have faith. Just so that everybody, feel free to, yeah, you can tune along, right? Must have faith, think on. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Must have faith. Whoa, okay. Whoa. Yeah, the teacup ride. So, it's just been interesting. I'll say that, it's like during this retrograde cycle in general, you will, especially when we got Mercury has officially cleared. Okay, but it was like as if we needed Mercury retrograde on top of freaking Pluto. Hey, Pluto, what's up? Yeah, we meet again, great. Okay. And then Saturn. Like, that's not serious. Like, that's not making things even more serious and more kind of intimidating. Okay, and then it's like, okay, that combination there with Saturn and Pluto is like the teacher with like the principal. So yeah, we went through those two together. And then we have Mars. Yes, Mars in tow as well, just to kind of bring that emphatic sort of focus to whatever does come up. Mars will just throw some, some I'm hearing some pepper in the air. Okay, interesting. So let's clear it in the ground. This is like a general thing. Again, you have to always take it as you will. But, and then, on top of that, we had, thank gosh, we had Venus in clear, but we dealt with that back in, you know, but then, what else? We have Uranus is retro under the covers in a deep sleep, fully retrograde, dreaming and drooling as we speak. Yeah, it is still in retrograde. That will be that's a long-term cycle. So Neptune is also, yes, also retrograde in lullaby mode. So yeah, in other words, we got pretty much everything retro. And then on top of that, it's like I'm hearing let's take it back now, y'all, to that Libra read. Yeah, no, like Willy Wonka showing up at the wedding thing. Yeah, but anyways, it's cleared ground. You know, on top of that, it's like, let's just stop everything. Yeah, everyone's like, what's up? Yeah, what's up? We're doing the whole retro thing, right? Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Jamie, for your donation. Love and light to you. And it's like, yeah, okay, what's up? We're doing the retro thing. And it's like Mercury runs in the room. And it's like, me too. Freaking, I need to make sure that everything that we ever communicate during this period as well is going to be totally confusing, just so we understand better down the line why we were depending on understanding the matter. I'm hearing in relation to the fact, whoa, like that. I don't know what that's linked to. Okay, thank you, Mercury. You can have a seat now. We'll be meditating on that. What? So yeah, Mercury is the ruler of the logical mind. When it's retrograde, it's like, yeah, no, I didn't do my homework. You go do it for me. I'll just be like waiting for the answer. Yeah, I'll show up to class, but the answer will be the one that you write on your paper. Okay, I'll write my name though as well on your paper. We'll just pass it in together, right? I don't know what that's linked to, but anyways, for number review, that's like in tandem with the whole conversation around karma, and that was a serious conversation. We're, you know, with the whole that generational planets in retrograde. It's like, yeah, nothing is like sliding by, and then it's like, you know, and then we have Mercury kind of sliding into class at kind of late, like, you know, that kind of energy, like dilly-dallying sort of vibes. And so, you know, take it as you will, but let's clear it in ground. It's like, you know, there's just like so much. So now Mercury has gone clear, but we're still in those cycles with these generational planets, right? We still got these bigger sort of macro scale conversations that still apply to us on a micro scale as well. Otherwise, why would we be here, right? We are part of the collective sort of conversation. When we think about our life purpose and why we're here at this point in time, it's like, yeah, everything is sort of in concert, in concerto, right? If we were to just like stop a song and just only play one instrument in that song, you know, what would we be saying about it at the end of the day? I'm hearing that as well. Like, okay, so, you know, everything is also purposely coming up for review at this time in relation to let's clear. I'm feeling emerald. I'm feeling emerald. Wow. But I'm feeling pressure in the heart chakra. Also, well, in the third eye, I'm hearing it towards the crown chakra. I'm hearing Geneva. I'm hearing Jenna. Genesis. I'm hearing that very, sorry, Jenna. Anyways, Jenny. Okay. But, and I'm hearing emerald tablet. So I don't know what that's to take as you will. But, you know, so yeah, if you were like, what the heck? The rabbit, like, looked like a frog, and then it ran on the road, and I didn't know what to do. Like, what was that? I'm hearing that, like, specifically. For a number, you're having experiences that are just, like, in relation, let's put it like this. In relation to this point in time, this spectrum of the time-space continuum, it's totally mad. It's confusing. It doesn't make sense technically. Maybe. You're like, yeah, I can't recognize this. And it could be an emotion that comes up. It can be a feeling. It could be a future. I'm hearing that as well, that you're feeling. You're like, whoa, I'm feeling like I'm activating. I'm having these visions. I feel like that's where I want to go. And I want to release that. And that's what I want to kind of, you know, orchestrate to manage another reality of another, I'm hearing dimension. Wow. For a number of you, you're heavily working with your spirit guides. Okay, let's clear around. Yeah, heavily working with your spirit guides. For a number of you, yeah. So... well, yeah. So, yeah, I asked a question. I was like, hey, how's the new moon in Scorpio? Then I was just like, like talking. Okay, so how is the new moon energy as it leads out? Are we, you know, how are we feeling? Has it just, I'm sure you felt that peak. How can you not feel Scorpio energy to begin with? And at the new moon, please. If you're not feeling it, you are in denial. We'll say it that way. Scorpio will be back around again, though, to test how well you're able to talk about that content. Let's clear it. That could be, yeah, absolutely. Well, a lesson, right? How are you managing that energy, especially Pluto in our birth chart? So, okay. And yeah, it really comes down to honesty. I could tell you guys that I have been getting brutally honest with myself. It's been, yeah, friggin', you know, Pisces. Yeah, we both start with a plea, Pleiades. I'm hearing that as well. Okay, like, so a number of you definitely having activations. Okay, like, definitely having activations. But we're saying, I was going to say Pisces. Okay, you know, there's something silly almost. Okay, it's like, yeah, we both start with P, but mine Pluto, and it's time to get more serious. Like, for a number of you, I definitely felt like I needed to sort of grow up almost on demand. Like, whoa, who's this? Pluto's my prime right there. Hi, how you doing? Always love my, oh, so lovely to feel you here and everyone here. Yeah, for a number of you, you're rising to your potential, and sometimes it's like uncomfortable at first. It's like the baby in the womb. Does it want to be in the womb forever? Obviously not. But like that moment of processing the desire to be birthed, right? The baby just kind of like kicking. It's like, I'm ready, but like it's crying when it's being birthed. Right? Sometimes, I guess, I don't know. I've never watched that. I don't have like enough data plot points to say that for sure every baby cries when they're born, but I would assume, right, that it's kind of a jolting experience in some way. Now, whatever it is, it's like that, it is sort of, it can feel scary, but it's the shift. Sometimes it's the shake-up itself that feels scary. It's not the thing that we're moving into, or the thing we're moving out of, or the fact that we're moving out of something and moving into something else. It's the form. I'm hearing that our fear takes on in that moment. Wow, like I'm seeing someone, they're gradually moving into this realization of a peak desire. They want to create something. They want to move into a new experience of their life. I'm hearing that as well. They carry that desire. It's like almost like an energy, and they almost hold it at the apex of like this experience. We could say in that way. And then they're holding that vibration. It's almost like with that, it's almost like it's very interesting. It turns like different colors, and then it's like I'm hearing it's the magic of that experience at times. Hello, Simantali, thank you for tuning in. A little bit light to you here. Thank you for donation. And it's like they bring that realization. I'm hearing into the home. I'm hearing of the pressure. I'm hearing the passion. Wow, I don't know what that's going to. Something merging, actually becoming like almost like a parallel. And it's like, okay, so be it the desire and be it in different dimensions, when you actualize your so-called vision, when you imagine that feeling when you want something so badly, right? What is actually happening in that moment, right? Is that pressure of what? Okay, and moving where? I'm hearing in that way. So I'm seeing it as actually though an energy that is building. Now let's clear the ground. I'm seeing energy moving. Now whatever it is and whatever that you interpret it, but when you're holding that pressure, right? It's almost like I'm seeing like it is an energy of desire and passion, but interestingly as mirroring the fear point. I'm hearing so-called the fear basis of, well, I want this so badly, what if I don't? I'm hearing also actualize it. So in some way, wow, it's very interesting. I don't know what that's going to, but we'll have to watch this one again and sort of meditate on that. But when the energy is sort of like building, right, and it becomes something so much of, it's kind of like as above so below, that concept, where we say, well, I do want it so much. And the one example I can bring here is if you think about even like performance anxiety, right? It's like, or when those moments when we want something, like, and we realize I want to move in that direction. I do want that. I love that person. That's what I want to create with them. I'm hearing that as well. And it's like when you first realize it, you're like, all right, cool, like I want that, and then it starts becoming like I want that. Yeah, I really want that. Okay, I really want that. Like it becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, more real for you in some way, maybe as you approach that portal point of managing that energy in a way that merges with a 3D reality, well, of manifesting it, so take it as you will. And it's like at that point, let's clear the ground. It's like, okay, then at that point it's like it becomes so strong, and I'm sure you've experienced this, where it's like, okay, I've wanted it so much now that it's almost like I feel scared of it. I'm hearing that as well, where we're like, it was fine, like the first date, I was really into them, but then it's like I went home and I started like going all kind of off-road. I'm hearing fury with my fan. Whoa, you guys, I could try. I was like fell off the chair. No, it's a sensation. Okay, speaking of fear, I kid you not, this chair is a bull chair. You can probably see it in the reflection. It is it's not like it's it rotates, but it feels like it's tipping. And we've been going round and round on this thing, kind of. Okay, I'm not doing full circle. Whoa, you guys, I kid you not, every time I go to the edge of this, oh my gosh, No, but it's not, it's just tipping. Yeah, it's just tipping. Okay, but yeah, so anyway, for a number of you, it's like, yeah, and then it's like, I'm sure you've experienced this. You go home, you're like thinking about it, and the more you are building this passion, it's like, it's almost like it becomes like, kind of like, whoa, a little scary. Whoa, it's a little freaky now. And then you kind of start, when you have a crush on someone and they start acting kind of like different around them. And it's like, I don't know, does everyone have that problem? Or is this just me? Well, this is something coming through. So maybe you're talking to someone actually about this. Maybe for a number of you, this is something that you are even doing some kind of healing therapy work in relation to. Hello, everyone. And yeah, so I have a Venus in Aries, Mars in Gemini. So many factors to be at play, okay, but Pisces Sun, I could definitely get into the heat of my mind, imagination. So sometimes, it's like, well, then where do we do with that? Where do we take that? And then, so the performance anxiety moment possibly. So, yeah, it's very interesting. Now let's get back into the Venus talk, right? What were we talking about? We're talking about Venus. Yeah, oh yes, so I'm getting really real. So, yeah, I mean, well, it's been getting really, really serious. Like, there are things, it was just such a dramatic shift. Like, that point of the new moon in Scorpio is like, we're gonna make it, like, yeah, we're gonna make it obvious. This is like the universe kind of pointing this laser beam light upon, again, the part of your chart that is related to Scorpio, Pluto as well, I'm actually curious, how many of you felt that you didn't feel anything like accented around the new moon, really, as it might have been felt around that new moon in Scorpio, 14th, 15th, 16th of November. On a scale, let's say, of like 1 to 10, okay, how many of you felt, and actually, let's just assign animals to the ratings. I'm hearing leapfrog. Okay, let's do leapfrog for I didn't really feel much. I just went about my day on my lily pad. I just croaked, 3 to 4 times in the afternoon, and then I was passed out. And then how many of you felt like, okay, I'm hearing I'm a raging wild bucking bull. I'm hearing that. Okay, that is like on the end of the spectrum of, I was so, for a number of you, possibly even triggered. I knew exactly what was happening, and maybe for a number of you realize now. I'm hearing Phoenix rising from the ashes. Okay, how many of you felt like you were able to acknowledge what was coming up from this perspective where you're like, well, I'm going to place this energy and I'm going to channel it in a very particular way. You guys are laughing at the animal. A ribbit. We got a ribbit. Okay. Spirit guides, the numbers are just not getting us enough data plot points to work with. No. Getting some frog emojis. Okay. In the ashes. Oh, wow. Okay. Unicorn? And yours you didn't give me a nut, you only put the extremes. What if I'm in between? I will put unicorn. I will put unicorn for rating of 5. 5 unicorns in the house. Let me get the charger, because we wouldn't want it dying on us now. Oh, it's actually here. Yeah, so much room, right? So much room to lose things in. How do you lose stuff in just one room? It's interesting. It's a Pisces thing, though. Yeah. No answer really to that. Just a Pisces thing. I got the iPad charger, you guys. This is not the iPad. This is the iPhone. 1 second. In the meantime, choose your animals. I have to also choose mine. This is a collective activity. So, yeah, it was a very intense new moon for me. I can say that. But you know what? I gotta say, the pattern sometimes becomes so obvious at a certain point where you're like, oh, I see you. I see it. I see what's happening here. I see what I also was doing, also, to bring this experience about. And so, for a number of you, it's funny because I have this iPhone sitting on it's on a tripod, and it's kind of tipping, and it reminded me of the tower right there. So for a number of you, it's I kind of now see what also my participation in this space. So when, and this is important to know, note, when we experience certain cycles, and that is, it's a reflective sort of activity, it can be at these points in the moon cycle and astrological points, it's like, what comes up? Is it really that thing coming up? Or is it how I am now aware of how I have processed what was already there all along? So, do we say, oh my God, it happened? And it's like, now I'm like either happy or sad. It's like, what is it that I have, what am I processing of my potential? I'm hearing that as well, which at every point in time is, present. It's just a matter of how we possibly are processing it. I'm hearing that as well. How we are provoking it. I'm hearing that as well. And that's not to say that, if you had moments, if we all had moments, let me just tell you, in the new moon in Scorpio, oh my God, it was like, you even went to the coffee shop and like, not that we're talking major astrology talk, but they were just like, oh my God, it was crazy. It was totally weird, whatever that was. And yeah, I mean, we will have moments where, we are introduced to that energy and like, we kind of gotta be like, whoa. And then it's like, by way of acknowledging that it's like a whoa type of thing, then we're able to be like, well, what do I want to do with that? Like, and that's a good thing at the end of the day. That's the beauty, the purifying force of Scorpio, where it just brings things up. It brings it to that point where it is also just so real and so raw and so obvious. And then wonderful, we can sort of decide what to do with that. It's beautiful actually at the end of the day, right? That's what I said, Phoenix rising from the ashes, regenerative energy. So, but it always depends on, how you channel it. And Scorpio, that is in the highest form. Scorpio's not easy to deal with. So there will be cycles possibly that you move through within that space, that then if you feel like you've had a lot of experience working with that archetype, then, it might become so-called easier. You'll be able to more easily draw it out. But for a number of you, that it is a challenging energy. That is, the motive also of Scorpio could say in that way, why does this energy exist? Like, there is the need to sometimes put things under the microscope to bring it to this point where we're like, we're like, ew, like, is that something that I did, that I saw, that I do, that I create as well? Like, and when we be it examining parts of our subconscious, but I'm sliding down, sliding off this chair. You can't imagine me on a talk show. I literally, no, like, imagine it. Just imagine that. It's like, sorry, no, she's a Pisces. We just gotta. Sliding off the chair, just 1 second. Yeah. Literally. Just like, imagine. Okay. Like, what is that? What is she sitting on? You guys. I'm just a disclaimer. Probably half of this stuff is gonna go. Like, this chair, I'm just like at that point with it, okay? We almost got rid of this little while back, but okay. Anyways. Now. All right, let's just yeah, I guess right. It is absolutely a talk show. Okay, but yeah, I mean, like, what if what if it was like a professional thing? Well, it is professional for a Pisces ever, to be honest. Okay, this is really not working. Okay, why? I think it's because we had that. Now we are making it more simple. By the minute here, just like, we don't need that many pillows. Okay, so yeah, take it as you will. You guys, I think we're inching into furniture assembly territory. Whoa, the tower of the talk show. Okay. No, yeah, for a number of you, it's like the Scorpio energy, it can get very interesting, right, as well. Like, yeah, the highest vibration, we say, well, Scorpio rising from the ashes, the Phoenix rising from the ashes. And then it's like, there is a lower vibration as well. Okay, that's Scorpio energy, and you will be able to tell. This is a wonderful exercise, like, at the points in the moon cycle where, you have that really strong accent on the archetype of Scorpio. Even when the moon goes into Scorpio, you might feel it if it's not at an angle, whatnot. Let's clear it and ground. You might also feel it at the angles of the half point moon. It may not just be like the new moon and the full moon in Scorpio, but even the first quarter moon stage or the second quarter stage moon in Scorpio, you may still feel it. Those angles can be really, really as well intense, but always take it as you will. And again, but it's a wonderful activity to see what comes up as an emotion at that point. I invite you to do that, right? The next time, look on the, if you want to do it one-on-one, we can also do that. If you feel like you're guided towards that. That is the energetic alignment program on the website alchemy.com, and we could work one-on-one with your birth chart as well in relation to that. But I actually, yeah. Okay, but anyways, for a number review, yes, again, okay, so I invite you to do that. It is a wonderful activity. Like when the moon goes, just try it. When the moon goes into Scorpio, and we'll get more into this in the later readings as well. But look at what comes up as an emotion even. It's like, so am I feeling like triggered? And there can be a lot of factors at play, of course, but in a general way. That's why I really like to work though with the major angles or the major transits, because it is so intense. And you can use the activity as well. The point is saying, well, let me look back at the 14th, 15th, 16th of November and what was really coming up. So, there is the lower frequency though as well, Scorpio, that can be channeled, and that is, that can be channeled as manipulation. It can be, I'm hearing magnetic. Whoa, but, that depends. So the question is, what are you trying to magnetize, and what is your intention with that? So it always depends, right? Magnetism is not really necessarily, it is really, a matter of the intention in relation to the magnetism. So, Scorpio being that sort of penetrative energy, that very, very strong magnetic, again, sort of energy. But that's why they also say, anybody, if you read about Scorpio, they say like, well, there are different Scorpios. Well, the different, stages of evolution in relation to that party chart, and everybody has Scorpio. So we're not just talking Sun and Scorpio, we're talking really, when there is that accent very strongly placed in the birth chart even. So, for another review though, you'll know, like, am I feeling like I'm also in an ego war, a power struggle with myself, with others, what is, and that isn't that always reflective in a certain way, like, that will make clear how you are working with this energy and how you are operating within the spectrum of how it relates to your potential. I'm hearing that. Let's clear it. Oh, go with the flow. Yeah, okay, so go with the flow is talking about, she says, when will that reading be up? The one in email we mentioned. Yeah. So, okay, last night I did a really interesting pick a card. Actually, is it already uploaded? Let me see. Let me just wheel around. And let's see. It's uploading. It's waiting for the network. It was uploading. Let me, yeah. The internet just more or less stopped working during Mercury Retrograde, and I have to still get that back up and running, like, officially. So for now, we're literally just using, it's matchy. It goes off and on. Okay, but, so let's see how much longer we have for that. It's uploading right now, 10 minutes. We're looking at 9 minutes until that reading is posted. It's a pick a card, and it is actually a pretty interesting reading, I thought. I felt like guided to just jump on to that spread. It was creating different, it's not already posted, it's creating oh, that's so good to know, Nura. I'm glad to hear that you thought the pick a card was on point. Okay, cool. But yeah, she's talking, I guess you're talking about the last one. Yeah, that was just posted recently. About yes, the pick a card. Okay, but I did one last night, and it's like kind of like well, it's interesting. I added rising signs and I added Venus signs. So I ended up picking from those and assigning them to each of the stacks, the piles, and then creating substacks. So for each stack, there are like several substacks. So I find that might be interesting for those of you also who are kind of wanting to, sort of take a deeper dive with whatever it is that you're working with and say, well, okay, I want to assign like to this umbrella sort of conversation. I'm hearing that as well for a number of you. What are the different things that I, want to take a deeper dive with and take a look at, maybe gain some insight into? For a number of you also, it could really apply to, let's say, different alternatives. You're like, well, you're thinking of some kind of concept, you're focused on some kind of conversation. I'm hearing that again, some kind of content. I'm hearing that as well. You're like, which one should I post? And so within each stack, there are 3 sub stacks. And so we go into like, the breakdown, let's say, of those energies, funneling them down further. So, and in that reading, which again, I'll be posting in a few minutes now, it's just uploading as we speak, but uh, but yeah, in that reading, when let's say you pick a stack and you can pick all three, I know some of you actually watch them in terms of timing. So you say, well, this is that first stage of this experience, that's the second, third. That I do that as well. In general, I find that that's really interesting. But always teach your personal intuition, right? So that is a point. But yes, so it's like, let's say you choose one stack, right? You can direct the energy and say, well, I want within this space to say that the first stack, okay, but the first substack is going to relate to that particular energy. Then the second substack is going to relate to that type. So you see, you can kind of direct it in these, so we'll see. Hello, Mew Mew Coo. Aw. Oh gosh, yeah. So let's talk about the pick a card last night. That was really interesting, actually, as well, I thought. Though, the characters coming through, the stacks, very interesting. The samurai character, that was in last night's, right? Whoa. You almost tipped forward, okay. Yeah, so... And we did the extendeds, and thank you guys for those of you ordering the extendeds. Thank you guys for your support with these readings, and they are available if you thought, hey, I really resonated with those pick a cards and I want to take a deeper dive. We took a deeper dive and we sort of extrapolated those energies on the website alchemy.com. The link, how would you get to it? Well, if you go back to that reading and you click in the bio, or I think I put it in the comments, there should be that extended link that will link you directly to it. You'll get all three of those. You'll get, you know, the links there in that one, on that one's page. So yeah, let's clear the ground. And so yeah, how are you guys doing other than that? And did you feel so connected to stack too? Wow, Pluto's my prana. Yeah, well, a lot of Scorpio in there, a lot of water energy in that in that stack. I felt like that was some, you know, really particular sort of energy. But oh, that's so cool. I'm happy to hear that. Very cool. So. All right. So, Medicine Wheel says, how old is Nat? How old is she not? Which way do you want to answer the question? Yay! All right. I'm getting that she's still working with a pillow dance on her, on her chair here. Let's see. Yeah, but, listen, Pisces is a real thing. Being a Pisces is a real thing. It's not just one of those little meme things. It's like a, you know, we're here. It's like, all right, but like, there are these like so-called like earthly things. It's like, I don't want to say the logical paradigm, but you know, it's like sometimes, I don't know, things that are just so kind of normal. Like, I have people come into my space. They're like, okay, why do you have like, first of all, so many chairs? That's what some people, they'll be like how, why, I don't understand. I don't understand, but I guess I'll sit on one of them. No, but like, you know, Pisces don't really, they don't think like, I have like 2 chairs. A third would be too much. So I think I'm not going to do a third. It's like Pisces doesn't think, usually don't think like that. I've got a Pisces Mercury as well, so I may add to it, but you know, it's more like, how do I feel? So, Her Majesty says, what if your chart is a big triangle? You're talking about a grand trine? The big blue triangle. If you've got 3 trines connecting as one big triangle, that is usually going to be considered a grand trine. So that's an interesting placement if you have that placement. Yes. So yes, I have a few in my chart. A few grand water trines. So if the signs that they're in, let's say you have like 2 planets trining each other, and those 2 planets are in water signs, and then they connect down, they both trine down to another planet that is in a water sign as well, that is considered a grand water trine, and it can sometimes be considered as well a grand psychic trine. So, yes, but that will there will be different things, but yes, so it's interesting. It's interesting, a lot of things here at play. Paul? Yeah, we will get into those energies. I'm already feeling them very intense. December will be an interesting month, but we'll get into that in the readings. But yeah. So one more note, right? Also with the Venus here, getting into the later degrees, we're just looking again, Venus at 29 degrees. We're really focusing on Libra energy in a general way. Libra energy, the part of your chart related to Libra. Also, the placement of your Venus. You might want to look as well at your actual Venus in your chart, and the house it's in, the sign it's in, the planets that it might be sort of boomeranging energy off to. Let's say by trine, sextile, etc., whatever it is for you in your chart. But in addition, what else? Also, you might want to look at your 7th house. So, because that's really highlighted right now. We're really activating that part of the chart. So, and ultimately our consciousness. So take it as you will. Meditate on your birth chart. If you want to work one-on-one, we can. You can order a personal reading, or even in conjunction with an astrology report. That is something that I usually recommend if you're thinking like, I really want to get a sense for where I'm at, also in terms of my soul path, life path calling, your soul sort of journey, even as it relates to so-called career. What is career? Take it as you will, but like where I feel I will be really accenting on my potential, I recommend for something like that, especially if you're at a junction point with matters of so-called career, then I would recommend ordering an astrology report in tandem with your energy reading, and I will analyze your chart. I'll look at what's sort of positioned in it, and I do take an intuitive approach to that as well. So whatever it is that I feel, I pick up on, I tap into in relation to certain planets in your birth chart, I will relay that as well. And I recommend getting the video if you really actually want that sort of the visual also accompaniment to that. So it's kind of like a reading with a report. But yeah, let's clear the ground. So, but always take it as, so I'll look at your report and I'll talk through it and I'll video, and then I'll send that video to you. So that is the video report. And, there is a mini version of that, and there is also an extended. So, the extended we'll take a deep dive with the layers. And, I also want to mention this. There is a synastry report option. Well, it's not really laid out like that on the website, but for those of you, how many of you would be interested in that, looking at your chart in tandem with another, because that can also be really interesting, given that if we're so-called dealing with someone, it's not just like dealing with them, it's like there is some sort of reflective process happening there. So when you have that sort of ability to see the oversight of what may be triggered, what may be stimulated in your chart by way of your interaction with that person, that might be really helpful, to take a look at your astrology and your synastry. So I am thinking of offering that, where I'll like look at your chart with someone else's and sort of, because I love to do that anyways. I find it's really helpful, and I found that others have found it really helpful. I usually just do that for like family, friends, but I was thinking, why not like really accent that? Okay. You would. Okay. So then, well, stay tuned. I might write it on the community tab page. Okay. Once I create that option, I may do it today, tomorrow. Yeah, I may do it today, tomorrow, and that will be a synastry. So. Okay, now, what else? Yes, so again, we're activating, right? Again, Venus, 7th house. Also, Libra, air energy in general, very strong right now. So for those of you who have a lot of Libra in your chart, let's say you have a moon in Libra, oh wow. So, there will be a lot of things. I'm hearing tangles, I gotta get them out. I'm hearing that specifically. I'm hearing tangles, yes. And it's so funny because the other day I did a reading on twin flames. It was a video talking about twin flames and a necklace and the tangles in the necklace, and it's kind of cool if you feel guided to watch that. But yeah, and that was a pretty significant point for me. Like in this period, I felt that was really clarifying, actually. Okay, so for a number of you though, yet again, the element of air very strong. The energy of even Scorpio in tandem with Libra, because again, it's like, just because we look at this one transit and we say Venus is really like at that height of Libra right now, 29 degrees, it's also overlapping with the sun in Scorpio, and I think we cycle out, we graduate those energies almost simultaneously. They are in parallel. Let's just double check that. Venus is at, as we speak, 29 degrees of Libra. And then we have the sun at 29 degrees of Scorpio. So we are graduating with a lot here. This is like very intense if you're feeling what is going on. Yeah, like look at your chart and see, that is what I need to maybe, work with. Interesting. So, and again, I will emphasize this, if you want to work one-on-one with your birth chart, we can look at your chart and see exactly like what themes are coming up. If for those of you, especially if you're like at a point where you're like, at this point it's just a pattern, I don't know like why I keep also bumping into this wall, like we can work one-on-one with that, and it can be something in your chart that, there is possibly some kind of, I'm hearing also possible resistance to, I don't know what that's linked to, but take it as you will, where we find that we're having trouble with certain frequencies, certain energies, and you'll know like it in this way if, for example, you're able to say, well, every time, let's say we move through a certain astrological transit, I have difficulty with XYZ. I'm hearing that part of the mirror. Wow, very interesting. Then, that will be your key. That will be your ticket to say, well, maybe I need to take a closer look at that. And so I'm hearing grasshopper. Okay, grasshoppers lay eggs? I don't know what that is linked to. Okay. Do they? Okay. All right. So take it as you will. The grasshopper came in through the window. It was in a reading. Yeah, that was a very interesting sort of experience as well. Okay. But all right. Yes. So, all right. So yes. Let's clear the energy and ground. So for a number of you, right, it will really depend on, also, where these energies are in your chart. So you will have possibly certain cycles. Like, I know that during a certain period of the year, like almost every time, like something, really characteristic, sort of uncanny takes place. Like, and it is mirrored. It's a mirrored sort of experience. So again, if you feel guided, and you feel like, I don't know why this keeps happening, we can work one-on-one with that. All right, but anyhow, and then we've also got Mercury in Scorpio. So Mercury was retro again. Remember, it went into Libra, and now it's like finally trailed back out of Libra into Scorpio. And it's making headway through. It's right now at 13 degrees of Scorpio, so it is making its way gradually, but it's pretty much in the thick of the sign, we can say, and it will be... after that moving into Sagittarius, but we don't need to worry about that right now. But it will depend where that energy sits in your chart. And what else? So it's interesting as well. I want to mention this because, well, we're moving out of this really strong Scorpio, Sun and Scorpio energy. And then it's like, okay, Sagittarius, time for fire energy, this yang, sort of ardent, expressive, extroverted energy, and then it's like we have Venus dipping back into Scorpio. So there, is this sort of batoning of this energy, and feel free to sort of follow it like a thread, see, the patterns that have come up, where they sort of lead. Thank you guys for tuning in, love and light to you. I hope this energy, sort of overview, overcast reading was interesting, helpful, and I'll be posting that pick a card soon. And one second, anything else here coming through? Let's clear it and ground. Oh, yes. I also wanted to mention this. Neptune is going to be going direct. It right now is in like retro. It will be going direct. That's on the 28th of November. So keep your proverbial eyes peeled for that energy. That will be an intense angle in that cycle. So for those who got a lot of Pisces, a lot of Neptune in your chart, a lot of 12th house energies, a lot of water energy, just keep a heads up with that. And hopefully we'll be getting, like, as we get closer to that, we'll be doing more readings to sort of work with that energy in a more conscious manner. And I've been meaning to do as well the direct readings for all the signs or all the series, all of the signs, but for each, for all of the planets that have been retrograde. So we can kind of work on with a macro interpretation of working with that energy. But in addition, anything else here? Oh yes, I wanted to say this, right, about that Libra energy. For those of you who have a lot of Libra, you might also find that Libra rules, right, it is an air sign, but it's ruled by Venus, and Venus rules both air sign Libra and earth sign Taurus. So it rides on that access point, I'm hearing as well, of the physical body and the senses and things like how we process what we experience or perceive, and also how we translate it, communication, how we interact with others. It's a collaborative sort of energy. So for those of you who have a lot of Libra, there is maybe something really coming, well, it's coming to a head. It's also though coming to a point where, let's clear it, there can be this like, it's like I'm seeing like loud noise, becoming very loud. I don't know what that is only too, but it's like there can be this feeling of like almost like kind of anxiety, like pressure, even let's clear it. Yeah, well, some kind of conversation, okay, that you want to bring even to a point of closure. All right, love and light to you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and it can be a decision. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.